the series, what went wrong, what we can do better, how I can improve.
What's going on, everybody? We are back. Thank you for tuning in to the Still Knick Fans weekly recap and prediction show. You see it. You see it. Look at us chilling with the blue hats. We back, baby. Let's go,
That's
Knicks.
right. We in here.
What's happening, John? How you feeling, bro?
We are back from vacation, feeling good, feeling energized, recuperated, and all of that. Is a recuperated? That's a word, right? I don't even know if it's a word.
Yeah, that works.
Is it?
You
all
be
right, cool.
I'll be rehydrated here. I'm filling up like SpongeBob.
I see you.
Yes. Yeah. So I hope you had a good break. You know, a little time, little rest.
Yeah, man. Yeah, definitely did. Chilled with the family and stuff. You know, have to reorganize. You know, the household as always. You know, I got a bunch of kids, so it's definitely about organization and just getting ready and making sure that we're good for this week. How about you? How do you spend your week off?
Honestly, man, I just been chilling, you know, doing work, and that's it. Just relaxing. You know, that's it. Nothing. I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything productive, really. So, yeah, it is what it is.
Sometimes you don't need to be super productive just to have some time off. It's needed.
That's a fact. So, yeah, man, I'm happy that we were able to, you know, get that time off. It was a good break. It was an all-star break for, you know, everybody basically. So why not? Yeah, man. So without further ado, I think we should, you know, get into our sponsor. But I hope everybody took a look at the new intro video. You might, if you got to pay close attention. This is not the same highlights as the previous ones. It's a little different. So, you know, a little bit more updated for the time that we're in right now. Even though there's no wins. Like, I wish I could put W's in there, but there's no wins.
You know what's interesting? We still started the intro with Julius Randle saying, "I need to be better."
Yeah, and then, you know what? And it's so true. It's so true.
Yeah,
I think that might be every intro we do. He might have to say that because you need to be better, Julius.
It's the reality of the season, though, right? Like it really started with him. You know, it started and I don't want to put all the pressure on him, but I would say it started with him, and it translated across the board because for our young budding star, RJ Barrett, it took him some time to get going too. But he's finally here. But we're going to get to that.
Yes, we are. You know what? We're going to get to that very shortly. You know, let's get a word from our sponsor for tonight's show. Go from there. You know.
All right.
Tonight's podcast is sponsored by Urban Cowboy, designed for the lived experience. Urban Cowboy clothing, uniquely designed for every urban trendsetter, both young and mature. That's right. Don't forget about it, guys. Spring is coming. New line of fashion, warmer outfits. Got to get out there, start looking good. Get your Urban Cowboy on, and man,
gotta get those tees on.
I'm ready for t-shirts and you know, a little hoodie season. I like hoodie season too, nighttime. You know, but definitely, I'm ready for t-shirt weather.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we'll be starting to get there soon enough. I mean, we'll start seeing some really comfortable weather in April. You know, although, however, there'll be some cold moments. There are some Easters that are sort of extremely cold, so
You ain't
don't put the
lying.
jackets away. Not
Yeah,
just
you
yet.
ain't lying, man. Yeah, man. I'm just happy that things are moving in the right direction as far as the world. Uh, I'm talking about the sunlight stuff. I'm not talking about what's going on in other countries. That's crazy. I'm just talking about sunlight. It's starting to get lighter outside. I hate
Right.
when it's dark at 5 o'clock. So it's starting to lighten up, and I'm glad that that's happening. And maybe that will lighten up people's moods around the country, and we can get to a better place. Because right now it is crazy, man. So salute to our brothers and sisters in other lands, the Ukraine and Poland, all those areas over there. Pray for safety and hope that everything gets resolved without a lot of more craziness happening. So
Yeah, the last thing we need anywhere is escalation of any kind. So let's hope for the best and continue to keep those folks in harm's way in our prayers.
Agreed. Yeah, man. So once again, thank you guys for joining in and tuning in to the Still Nick Fans weekly recap and prediction show. Salute to the chat. I see Geraldine's in the building. Big Task at Hands in the building. Blorange Tears, my man Uncle Freezy's in the building. Appreciate you. Foxy's in the building. Did I see Bing Bong?
Yes.
Bing Bong's in the building. And
Bing
my man
bong.
D'Angelo's up in here. Good to
What's
see y'all.
going
Good to
on,
see
everyone?
y'all.
Welcome.
Yeah, man. Definitely. Yeah, bro. So listen, this was interesting because the Knicks had only 3 games kind of spread out over a week and a half period.
Right.
And we didn't necessarily predict these games because technically it was only 1 game last week, and then we had 2 games, coming back from the All-Star break. But nevertheless, we will go over them and talk a little bit about those games, because the first one we're going to go over is a bad one. We've kind of touched on it a little bit. I know it's been talked about already. Seems a little weird to even talk about this game because it's just, this actually is our worst game, our worst loss of the season, and one of the worst losses in franchise history. So, yeah, man, that was the game against the Brooklyn Nets.
That's an interesting one.
Dude, this was rough, man. Listen, I don't know. I just, all I could say is I saw them come out guns blazing. I was like, okay, Knicks. I wasn't expecting them to play this good in the first half,
Right.
and they came out clicking on all cylinders. This was a game in which, let me see here if I got it right now. Pull that up. Brooklyn Nets, yeah. The final score was 111-106. But at one point in this game, the Knicks were up by 28 points, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sure you guys all
Right.
know this, but for those who may not know, if you've been living under a rock or you just said, you know what, we're talking about the Knicks, I'm just going to chill for a minute. I understand. But yeah, they were up 28 points. And somehow, some way, in Knick fashion, they squandered the lead and allowed Brooklyn to get back into this game and then pull it out in the fourth quarter and win. And it was an embarrassing display. I don't know how you feel about this, John, but it was horrible, bro.
I'm right there with you, man. It was extremely embarrassing to lose this game when we were up, like you said, by 28. And we just didn't have an answer in the fourth quarter. You know what I mean? We didn't have an answer. We made a ton of mistakes. We didn't take care of the basketball. We got out rebounded. It's just, a slew of events that happened not only in this game, but the prior game to this game. You know what I mean? Where we've lost leads in the past. I mean, the only thing that I could see that the Knicks are doing well is going out and playing hard. You know what I mean? And being aggressive throughout an entire game. That's what we've seen so far. But it doesn't come without mistakes. And we show that we just are burdened by the ineptitude of a lot of our players, especially when it comes down to the final portions of the game or key moments of a game. They just can't put it together, and they can't rely on each other for whatever reason. They just, no one wants to take the last shot. Everybody's hesitant. everyone's looking, to the other player to see if someone's willing to step up and take a last shot, and it's just weird. It's just very weird. But that's been this entire season. There were moments in time where we just bashed our Knicks because they didn't play with any effort. For the last, I want to say, 8 to 9 games, we played with effort. We just haven't played well towards the back end of the games. And this was sort of the icing on the cake, you know what I mean? And really just showed us what this entire season was about, you know what I mean? And it's been unfortunate. It's unfortunate.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, man. It's just this was like, if you were feeling shaky about this Knick team and didn't know exactly how to feel about them, this game puts you in a bad space. Like this is one of, how they say, try to, keep your emotions intact and don't let like things like sports and stuff affect you. This is one of those games. It affected everybody. Yeah. This was not a good one, man. Yeah, this was rough.
It's Brooklyn and our house. You know what I mean? And you just can't have that. Can't have that. We can't have those moments. We can't have the moments that we're probably going to talk about in a little bit. You can't have the moments even in the road where you're up by 24 points and you lose that lead as well. You know what I mean? With an opportunity to sort of shift gears in your season. We had an opportunity to win games against Portland and the Lakers, and we just didn't put it through. Those games, if we would have had those games, because we had the opportunity to win those games, if we would have got those games, we would have been in a different situation, you know what I mean, with higher hopes, not really looking at the season as a complete waste, not looking to potentially tank for the rest of the season. There'll be a different conversation. But as of right now, we're up against it because we're against the toughest schedule once more. We're playing top tier teams in the next 4 to 5 games. So we're in for one.
Yeah, man, it's very true. It's very true. And you know what? Listen, I think you kind of touched on it already. The bad thing is that this happened in our building against Brooklyn Nets, who is like, even if that rivalry is not as pure as it should be because of the teams, like both teams are going through a lot right now. That's a rivalry. Like we can't lose to Brooklyn in that fashion in our building. And to add insult to injury, you lost in that fashion after having a 28-point lead to guys like Bruce Brown, James Johnson, Andre Drummond, Seth Curry, Patty Mills, LaMarcus Aldridge, Javon Carter, Kessler Edwards, Cam Thomas, and Blake Griffin. No Kyrie.
No Durant.
You know what I mean? No Durant. No Ben Simmons. Like this was horrible, man. This was horrible. All right, I'm done. It's nasty. Hold on. Wait.
Yeah, but I'm definitely not going to shy away by saying the Brooklyn Nets, even without Kevin Durant and Kyrie, they've won games in the NBA. It's not like that's a team that's a total wash, even without those guys. They're a competitive playing team. With those guys, they're just a lot much better. You know what I mean? Like you put Kevin Durant on the squad, and you don't have Kyrie, they're still a better off team with Durant. And then when you put Kyrie without Durant, you see how good they could be potentially. And if they get everybody back and healthy, they're a team that every team is going to be scared to play in the playoffs if they're healthy and available to play. So, you know what I mean? They just got an abundance of talent is what they have over there. But I think, without those guys, we should have matched up well. You know what I mean? And I think
I agree with you.
But, we just couldn't hold the lead.
I agree with you. There's just one problem with this. And I say this in the flip side because it usually always happens to the Knicks. When the Knicks have a team that's kind of dysfunctional and kind of devoid of overall talent. We've got some talented guys, but like the whole team itself is not necessarily talented or what have you. Usually on the flip side, when we lose to another team, we point to, okay, well, you know what? That other team had the best player on the court.
Right.
In this case,
point to that.
I think the Knicks had the best player on the court, and that's why I say we should have won this game. Because
who is that?
When you look at
who is that?
It should be Julius Randle.
It
Julius,
wasn't though,
if
and
you
it
look at
hasn't
those
been
two
this entire
teams,
season.
Julius, I mean, but I will tell you, Julius had 31 points and 10 rebounds in that game.
Yeah.
That's a good game.
But we know from this season, he has not been the best player on our team and hasn't been the most consistent player on our team. So we can't even look to him and to say that this year. Like last year, I would have given him that. But this year, we can't point a finger at anything he's done this year to call him the best player on the court. He wasn't.
That's true.
And he's not.
That's true.
You know what I mean? So that we as Knicks fans have to not go there anymore with Julius because he hasn't proven it to us. He has to at this point, you know, if he proved it 2 seasons in a row, 3 seasons in a row, then you gotta give him those accolades, you know what I mean? But if he ain't showing it consistently from year to year, there's no way that we should be, you know, placing him in that pedestal. Because right now, to me, this is RJ's team. It's no longer Randall's team. He lost it. He lost the team. This definitely is RJ Barrett's team, and if RJ Barrett starts to lose it, then we're gonna have to go in a different direction. But as of right now, RJ is taking the keys, and he looks like he's moving forward full throttle. He's just got to get consistent with those free throws because he should be ending games with 30-point marks. You know what I mean, and not less than 30. You know, at least the last yesterday he had like 24 or something with like 5 missed free throws, something like that. So.
Well, I just want to take a look at this real quick because in that game against the Brooklyn Nets, the Knicks shot really well. They shot pretty good, and they just faltered in the fourth quarter, and their defense was horrible, right? But from the free throw line, they were 16 of 18 for 88%. So just make a note of that, right? So anyway, that was that game. As I said, guys, we lost to the Brooklyn Nets, 111 to 106, and that was a tough one. But then you think, all right, so we got to deal with some tough teams coming into the Garden. Next team on the schedule is the Miami Heat, and we knew this was going to be tough. And I don't think there's many people that thought the Knicks were gonna win this game because we historically don't beat Miami. Like Miami's got our number. If there's ever a team, like I think another team is Denver. For whatever reason, we don't beat Denver, but Miami is a tough one for us.
Right.
Yeah, man. Then we came up against the Miami Heat, and it's kind of like the same old story. Like the Knicks are fighting and fighting and fighting throughout the game. You see spurts of good basketball play, but then you also see the same inefficient play and issues on the defensive end that has plagued them all year. And you also see a Miami team that knows how to withstand other teams, rallies and best shots.
Oh, yeah.
Like I think we hit Miami with two good shots at a point where we got to the game. We got the game close. We even took the lead. But Miami's like, okay, we withstood that. Now it's our time to kind of get back into it, and that's what a good team does. And we wound up in the end losing the game 115 to 100. Yeah, man. Yeah. I don't know how you feel about this Miami game, bro.
Again, I'm right there with you. The Miami Heat are a well-oiled machine. They play methodical. They know where they need to be. They know how to play their offense. They work around the players that they currently have on the court. They can play different style of basketball depending on if they're going to work off of Hero or if they're going to work off of Jimmy or they're going to work off of Bam. They have so many different options that can beat you at any given time. So this is one of those games that you hope that you can keep it close in the hopes that you get momentum and the ball goes your way, right? The ball favors you at the end of a game. And, we just haven't been able to pull it or string games together where we're consistent in the fourth quarter, consistent enough to keep it close to not lose by a larger margin than we have been. And it looks like, at this point, most teams are getting ready for the playoffs. They're really trying to lock in and really tie up loose ends when it comes to the fourth quarter play and making sure that they're effective in the fourth quarter to close out games. And you're noticing right now the Knicks we're not there. We're not there yet. So so we'll start to lose a lead. We'll go down by 4 or 5, and then we'll shoot a horrible shot or make a terrible we'll make a turnover, and the other team will go on a fast break and score a couple of buckets or an and one here and there, or or we'll give up a 3-point play because a lapse in defense, and that 5-point lead turns to 9. You know what I mean? And then we can't come back. So that's sort of been where we've been in the last 7 games as of late. So
Right.
yeah, we're just running through it. Again, we have this tough schedule in front of us. We don't see any light, and I think we're somewhere around. I think if we lose 4 games, we're mathematically out of it. I believe so. Out of the play-in, I would say. If we lose 4 games, we're mathematically out of the play-in. Because I believe at one time it was like 4 more games. Because I think at one more, at coming off the break, we couldn't lose 7 games or 6 games, something like that. And I think we've played 2 already, right? So I think it's 4.
Well,
we're down to 4.
To be honest, like, they're dragging this out because some of these other teams that have the lead on us aren't pulling away, and so that those odds are like funky. But I think one thing I will say that you're correct in the fact that it gets really slim, and definitely I think if we lose 6 more games, 6 in total. So if we lose 4 more, get to 7, I think we guaranteed we won't finish 500. So that's crazy.
Yeah, we're definitely ain't finishing 500, but
yeah, that's crazy.
You know what I mean? I just don't. I don't see us coming. Because even though teams like I think the Pacers they beat the Celtics right recently, so that's an interesting one because now the Pacers move up a bit, in the standings, and then Boston moves down a bit. But Boston was going on their own run, so it doesn't really affect their standings much, but it does give a boost to the Pacers. It's going to really be interesting by the end of this week if we're 4.5 games back or 5 games back. It's a no-win situation.
Agreed. I'll tell you that you are definitely correct in that. The one bright spot that happened in this game that's we can all point to, and it got us very excited. At least we could hold our hat on seeing the 21-year-old RJ Barrett come out and really shine. This is the first time we've seen him have a game where he put it all together for 4 quarters. Whereas, like, it's not the first time we've seen RJ get buckets and have a good half. But for whatever reason, sometimes he'll start off hot in the first half, and then either the Knicks go away from him or he's not as aggressive in the second half. But he had 30 at halftime, and then he finished with another 16 in the second half, which normally plagues him. He's not able to do that. So this time he kind of put it together. He got that 40-point mark. RJ was balling, man. He was definitely taking it to them. And I honestly think the way I saw him play is a culmination of everything we've seen him try to work on. At some point about a month ago or so, RJ said, or maybe, someone talked to him and said, listen, you got to get more aggressive out there. And when he turned that on, we saw it in spurts. Like, he started getting more and more aggressive. But this Miami game against a good Miami team and against a Jimmy Butler who's guarding him, RJ made this look really easy. The flip side is, of course, Jimmy Butler was able to get his points too. But you know what? He had his hands full. Yeah, he had his hands full, and so did Jimmy, because RJ was getting whatever he wanted in this game, man.
Right. No, I agree. RJ was in his bag. He played well. He was aggressive. I think at some point I seen him on the bench, and I forget who he was talking to. He may have been talking to Sims or someone, and he was like, I'm going for 50. You know what I mean?
Right.
At least I seen him, you know what I mean? I seen his lips say that for whatever reason. I think that's what I seen.
No, he did. He said that.
I
Yeah,
did? Okay.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. So, you got to give him props, man. He was going for his. He scored 46. So, and it was a very efficient. I think he was 13 for 22 or something like that. He shot it decently from the 3-point line. I think he's just coming to his own, you know what I mean? And the one thing I really enjoyed is that he was out there and he was doing other things. Like, I know they had him defending mostly Jimmy Butler, which is a very tough thing to do, but to play a full game where he plays, I don't know, upwards of 35 to 40 minutes. You know what I mean? He grabs, you know, he grabbed what, like 10 rebounds, 8 rebounds,
He
something like
had
that.
9. He had 9. Yeah, good amount of
Right?
rebounds. He
You know
had
what I
9.
mean? Like that to me is someone who's playing, you know what I mean? Like he's really putting an effort to try to win this game. And like I said, he was a very efficient, um, and that's what you need from a young player. You know, that's what's going to prove to us that we got someone that we need to keep a hold of. You know what I mean? If he turns around and continues to shoot poorly from the field and is only averaging 16, 18 points a game and is missing, you know, I don't know, 4 to 6 free throws a game, we start to look at him a little differently and say, I don't know if he's ever going to, uh, break that, you know what I
Put
mean?
it all
Sort
together,
of
right?
put
Yeah.
it all together, you know what I mean? So I just think this is a game where we're like, wow, it's starting to come together. It's starting to come together for him. He's playing more aggressive. They're going to him as an option first versus
Mhm.
going through Randall. And I think that's a big
Mhm.
key because now he knows that he is going to be the main focal point of this offense. And at some point, they're going to have to make a decision because he can't be the guy who's also guarding the opposition's best player. That's unfair. I mean, I understand putting him through the ringer, you know what I mean,
Mhm.
and letting him get to that task and figuring it out as he matures into his body. Because I think this is all
Right.
good for him. But at some point, maybe next year, they have to give him sort of an out. He shouldn't have to play that many minutes guarding the opposition's best player. You know what I mean? Maybe that's something that should be left for someone like Cam to do if the Knicks decide to keep Cam. Um, so we'll see.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, man. And another thing that stood out in this game was the fact that Julius gave you Julius type numbers. You know what he does. He's going to give you some level of rebounds and some level of assists. He had 8 rebounds and eight
Right.
assists, but he was 2 for 15 from the field, and he had 11 points. So now I know people want to kill Julius in this game. I'm just taking this game away, guys. And I'm only saying this game because if you look around the NBA, the first game back from the All-Star break, a lot of funky stuff happens. Guys who were on rolls, like who were hot. And Julius was
Mm-hmm.
one of those guys. He was kind of hot coming into the break. Guys who were hot going into the break, after the break, I know because I was
Right.
watching, some of these guys, and they weren't having, like, some guys had really good games and some guys struggled. Like, they didn't even give you the points that they're used to giving you. It was kind of wild, but that's one game. That's it. But then the next game, we could talk about Julius a little bit more as far as how he's able to play with RJ, because it seems like for whatever reason, man, the way to get the best out of RJ is for him to have the ball in his hands and a chance to facilitate, to move around the court, to be in the middle of the court. When that happens and he's featured, especially when he was cooking, it's like
Mm-hmm.
Julius runs into a cave and he hides or something. I don't know. He's just like, and I'm not saying that he doesn't want I think the misnomer is that people think that he doesn't want anybody to do well on the court outside of him. I don't think that's it. I
I
just
don't
don't think
believe
he
that
doesn't
either.
understand. No, I just don't think he understands how to be really effective when he's not the man or not getting the opportunities. When he's got to play off of somebody else who's really got it going, like RJ had it going. He just, like, it hurts his game. I don't know.
I really think Tibbs did himself a disfavor. At least this did Randall a disfavor for not placing him down in the block and working off the block. Like having him
Mm,
play the point forward and keeping him in the perimeter is hurting Randall's game. At some point, you have to be able to switch it up as a coach and realize that the only way you can get the best out of Randall at this point in time when his perimeter shot isn't falling is to play him off the block. Allow him to make
right.
quick decisions from the block. Free throw line, not extended, but down in the post. You get what I'm saying? Like that should be the
Mm-hmm.
highest point where he gets the ball. It should be at the free throw line. And he doesn't have to extend outside of that until he got it cooking. You know what I mean? Be aggressive to the basket and make decisions off of the post. But Tibbs hasn't done that all year. He hasn't even tried to. You know what I mean?
Right.
And even right now, when he has RJ running the offense he's running the offense through RJ, he still has Randall playing a perimeter type offense, or in the area of, you know, shooting an open three or something, or at the sort of a 3-point line, waiting to get a pass out, you know. And Randall right now isn't in the situation where he's extremely comfortable with his jump shot yet. You see him hesitate from time to time, and every now and then he has to take a couple of dribbles in order to get his rhythm going, in order to make a shot. And he's been inconsistent this entire season, and the only way you can get Randall effective is putting him in the block, allowing him to produce points from the block, and being aggressive, because he's an aggressive rebounding and he can turn to the basket with the best of them. And that also give him an opportunity to get to the free throw line. You know, at the very least, get him to the free throw line. But it hasn't been the case. So I mean, a lot of our losses this year has come on the behest of Tibbs and the way he's structured this offense, which a lot of people dislike. I'm turning favor from Tibbs right now. You know what I mean? I'm at that point where I'm like, well, everything that's going on this season, he hasn't shown adjustments to the current team that we have on the court, and that is a problem for me. You know what I mean? Time and time again, he hasn't shown to shift the offense away from a particular player or a particular style of play. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it even shows when you have Cam on the court and you having them just hang out by the wing. You know what I mean? Same with Obi, hanging out by the wing. And that's Obi's least impressive part of his game. It's his three-point shooting. So you're going to keep him at the corner and he's less effective in the three-point line? Like, that's poor coaching. You can say what you want. That's just poor coaching.
Yeah, I think there's something to floor spacing. And while I understand it, I don't think you stay, like, when you're trying to do certain things to open up the court for your players. I get it. Floor spacing, you want people around the perimeter, but don't stay predictable and stay in the same sets throughout the whole game, because as adjustments get made by the defense, you're going to put yourself in a bad position. And then the other thing is, I was thinking, like, why doesn't, you know, Tibbs force Randall to go down on the block, or Randall say, I'm going to go down on the block and get some easy baskets, get myself going that way, because he should be doing it. But then another thing just hit me. I started to think, because one of our biggest knocks that we talk about with Julius Randle is his reaction time. He's slow to react. On defense, he's slow to react. On offense, when he has the ball and the double team's coming, he's slow to react. So I was wondering if Tibbs doesn't enforce sending Randle down on the block, because he feels like Randle doesn't move that quickly. He's going to clog the block, clog the lane. And RJ's, who's been penetrating a lot and getting into the lane, he's going to, you know, create more of a cluster in there. So it's going to, you know, be more defenders against RJ. I was wondering about that, because I've been thinking about that too, John. And I'm like, I wonder why Tibbs is not telling Randle to go down on the block.
But yeah, it doesn't have to be every play though. That's where I'm getting at.
No,
like, I could understand if you're saying, okay, we're running the offense on this particular offensive, you know, this moment in time, we're going through RJ. For whatever reason, we don't get into our offensive set, or it gets clogged, and you pull it back out, shift it up, get him on the block. Like, why are we constantly pulling it back out in order to run the same play again, just at a different angle? Like, it just doesn't make sense. It's super weird. You even see the same thing with Quickly, where he tries to penetrate, he gets stuck, he pulls back out, and then he's either looking for a last-minute pass or he's taking a horrific jump shot instead of working off the post at this point. You know what I mean? That's what Chicago does really well. When Levine or DeMar doesn't have it going like that per se, or in moments, they'll switch and they'll go to Vucevic in the block and allow Vucevic to work, you know what I mean, down low. You know, and that's what we need. We need that from Randle, but that's a Tibbs call. That's not a Randle call. That's not an RJ call. That's a Tibbs call. And so he hasn't done that all season. And that to me is the problem. You know, and again, I was a big proponent of Tibbs. You know, I wanted him to come here and sort of shift the coaching. I think we got a little bit of that last season. I think they came into this season realizing that they need to work hard and come ready to play. which is great because that's something you need to have in as just to be physically ready to play this long 82 season game. But
Right.
everything else on the court is not looking so good.
Yeah.
And to Paris Douglas' point right here, he's saying Tibbs won't coach Randall, and that's a problem. If you can't coach your players, then something's got to give. So that's why I think a lot of folks are calling for Tibbs' head right now, and they're also calling for Randall to be traded, and they're calling for the front office to be moved. All of this stems from the play that we see on the court. At the end of the day, if we were playing good basketball, no one would be asking for any of this. We would be chanting, "Let's go, New York." And you know what I mean? And that's what it would be. And New York will be rocking. It wouldn't be a place where the Heat could come to our court and there's Heat fans screaming, "Let's go Heat." That would have never happened had we been playing good basketball. That noise would have been drowned out. And that chant came off of a Randall turnover, I believe. And after that Randall turnover, it was like, "Let's go Heat." It was easy. You know what I mean? And there was no Knicks fans enough in the building. They may have been Knicks fans who was chanting, "Let's go Heat." You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I wouldn't surprise me one bit, which is embarrassing.
Yeah, no, that's crazy, man. That's nuts. I can't, the wild stuff happening.
And you heard it in a nationally televised game, bro.
It makes it even worse, bro. You're right. Paris Duggar also had mentioned that RJ has to step up and be vocal and tell Randall, what's, if he sees something or if something's going on, RJ's got to step up and be vocal and let Randall, know what's going on with himself or whatever he's not doing, or if there's something going on and he needs him to do something, RJ's got to probably be that next vocal person, the next vocal leader. And I agree that is coming for RJ. But I think RJ is the one thing about RJ, he's a very smart basketball player and he's very subdued. And he also he stays in his place. And I think he stays in his place until he feels like he's really made it. Because I don't think RJ thinks that he's there yet. I think he knows he's getting close. He's definitely getting closer. But until RJ can know that every given night, I'm giving you 20 plus points or whatever, pencil me in. You're going to get this for me. I don't think he's going to take that reign and really become that guy yet. Because at that point, then he can say to Julius, "Listen, I respect you. I know you got game. You showed what you can do, but now is my time. And, this is what I need from you to help me." Like, I just don't think he's comfortable yet. Because RJ is still a very quiet dude. He says a couple things, and I'm not saying he can't do it, because when he was in Duke, I used to see RJ all the time bringing everybody together. The college huddles, and he used to be the one talking. So I know he can do it. It's just he doesn't feel comfortable yet. But I think it's we'll get there. We'll get there.
That's a lot like that's sort of like the alpha versus the omega, right? You're always going to have one alpha in every team. You're going to have your omegas that are really talented individuals. You know what I mean? But there's always going to be someone who has the voice of a team. And right now, that was sort of handed to him by Tibbs to Randall. You know what I mean? To be the voice of the team, to be the person who folks are leaning to in order to, figure out what's going on the court. And you see Randall as a teammate is talking. You know what I mean? You got to give him credit. You'll see him talking. He may be talking to the refs as well, but there are moments and times where he's trying to talk to his team, explain where they need to be, what they need to do. It's just his inconsistent play is hard to overcome. You have inconsistent play and you're sort of the voice and the leader, but yet your turnovers amounts opposition points, and then your lack of intensity at moments affect the game as well. Your attention to the referees affect the game. So all of these little factions that are happening within the game is also translating to what we're seeing on the court and to what the players are seeing. And they're looking for some, some guidance. And if you aren't able to guide them in a way, that they need to, then at some point the Knicks as an organization need to either demote you or move on from you. And that's just the reality. That happens everywhere. It happens in every, in a corporation, big and small. You know what I mean? So if you aren't able to, if you aren't able to, what they call that, it's I would say influence, but it's another word that I'm thinking of. Motivate. If you aren't able to motivate the people that are around you in order to, bring their games to another level, then you're there and you're just a piece of the puzzle at this point. You're not a leader, for the sense of the word of being a leader. You're not a leader at that point. Now you need to take a step back and allow another teammate to become that leader. And that, I think, is where we're at right now, where they're trying to hand over the team to RJ. And who knows if Randall will stick or not? I don't know. He is a talented player. I think other teams can see value in him, but I guess we'll see, man.
Yeah, man, we'll see. Yeah. The last thing I wanted to touch on with this Miami Heat game before we move on to the Philadelphia game is it's weird when you watch the game. It felt like RJ and Randall both had a ton of turnovers, right? Mm-hmm. But oddly enough, Randall had 4 turnovers and RJ had 3. But they both had them at the worst possible time in the fourth quarter. It was like they played good, and they took care of the basketball for 3 quarters. But the fourth quarter, like the worst possible things happened. And RJ definitely, I mean, one of the good things you could point to with his game, because we said this a lot. I said this going into this season, RJ's got to work on his finishing. And he's still not great at finishing, but he's getting much better. But and the other issue that he had is RJ would be aggressive and try to get into the paint, and he would either get his shot deflected or blocked, or there'd be no foul call. Mm-hmm. All of a sudden, RJ's getting these foul calls. And I know I'm not going to say it's all RJ. I feel like the refs have a lot to do with it. I don't know what's happened, but I definitely know that they're starting to call these fouls for RJ now, which is great. So keep it going, because that's one of the things that I think if he could just start working on and I don't think he's going to be able to do it probably in season. It's going to have to be an off-season thing. He's got to get back to the lab and work on those free throws. But he's definitely going to be able to take his game to the next level. Kind of like when we first saw James Harden, and I'm not saying he's James Harden, but, he has similar ways in which he attacks the basket. If he can do that and build the way James Harden did, hey, listen, man, that'll solidify him, and he'll be able to definitely be a consistent, I'll give you 20 plus a night if he can do that. So we'll see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think a part of this stretch is because we're starting to see him utilize he's finding spacing when he's driving to the basket. He's no longer placing the underhand where he used to do a lot. He used to drop it and go underhand. He's going over the top a lot more. It's the same issue that Quickly's having, where he's getting past his defender, but then he's figuring that, I could lay it up underhand, and it's not even a finger roll, because finger rolls used to be at the rim. Now it's sort of like below the waist, where they try to flip it up, and those are easily blocked by bigger defenders. And so, I think Quickly's going to learn that, but I think RJ has figured it out. And so you've seen him drawing the contact and then extending away from the defender in order to get his shot up. So he's better at the spacing when he's finishing at the rim right now. And it's also helpful that he's also added a few little tricks where he's doing the sort of drive to the basket, spin, and sort of fake pump in order to get people off their feet. So, people aren't sort of, because once you add those tricks to your bag, you aren't, you know what I mean? At that point, it's harder to defend you because you just aren't doing the same thing over and over and over again. You know what I mean? So, I think it's just maturation for RJ.
Yeah, I agree.
But yeah, those turnovers though were crazy in the fourth quarter, because that is also something that I was talking about a little earlier, where it was like the indecisiveness of who's going to finish this game, who wants this shot. That's right. That's where those turnovers come.
Yeah. Paris Duggar put in the chat that the Raptors beat the Brooklyn Nets 133-97. Just,
No
Yeah,
Kyrie in
that's
this
the
game
team
though.
that. Well, no Kyrie in the game against us either. It didn't
No,
matter.
but meaning like they're a different team when they have Kyrie versus when they don't.
Oh yeah, of
You
course,
know what I mean?
yeah,
But Toronto is a good team.
yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean?
But
This is
the
one of
thing
my
about
sleepers.
Toronto is Toronto hasn't been. Toronto's very up and down, man. I don't know what to say about them because they were very 500 ish earlier in the season, and then they turned it on. I think they won like 8 or 9 in a row, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then they've kind of slowed down a little bit. They've lost some bad games where I thought they should have won, but I also know that they've had some guys out. Like I looked at the box score and I see like Van Vliet was out a game or so, and like that all matters. And
Right.
but it is what it is. And so that brings us to the Philadelphia game. And this was James Harden's debut with Philadelphia against the Knicks. Obviously, he's been there for a couple games. I think this was his 3rd game with them. And they kind of had their way with us, man. They were doing whatever they wanted out there. You see a big difference in how they move because now you have 2 superstar players, and you got a guy who knows how to make other guys on the court better. I mean, say what you will about James Harden. I think his game is actually better this year than it has been in the past because of the rules that the refs, taking away those stupid foul things that he used to get away with. I think, it just shows that he's still a very, very good player, but he also makes guys better because he's really good in the pick and roll. I mean, he just dices you apart, man. He can just, shred your team. And the Knicks, being that they're so bad in certain spells and defense, and they're really not that good against the pick and roll.
Horrible
it
pick
showed,
and roll
man.
defense.
Yeah, it showed. And of course, Embiid killed us. He had 37. I mean, Embiid was doing whatever the hell he wanted. He even looked at times. He had his hands on his knees. He looked gassed at different times, and he was still doing whatever the hell he wanted. So, yeah, man, this was another tough one. And this game, the Knicks lost 125-109. For those who may not have known the final score, yeah, it was one of those where. So it was interesting because not only did you get 37 and 9 and 4 blocks, and I think 3 of those blocks were in the 4th quarter, just to add insult to injury by Embiid. So you got 37 and 9 from Embiid. You got 29, 10, and 16 with 5 steals from James Harden. Right. I mean, you love to hate him, but the guy's a good player. Like, what are you gonna do?
What's interesting is that is those steals come from a lack of understanding where you're at on the court as an offensive player, because most of those steals came from behind. You know what I mean? He was poking the ball from behind players like Randu, RJ, and others. You know what I mean? And I think that's part of the problem. Even Burks, he just catching them trying to run their own pick and roll, and he just went over the top and just know that his guy is going to be in front and just poking the ball right from behind them. Thibault was doing the same thing. You know what I mean? And Thibault's a really good defender. So it's also a part of how they play defense too. Doc Rivers blitzes every point. Anyone who's gonna run a pick and roll, Doc Rivers blitzes it. He doesn't allow for that internal. He doesn't allow for. He doesn't. His defense is not kind of keeps the offensive point guard or offensive player away from driving to the basket. He rather you shoot exterior shots. It's very similar to Tibbs' sort of style of defense, although the rotations are different. But they have a little bit more talent. They got speed and good length and defensive abilities in their starting lineup and even off their bench. So you got to play the guys who you have, and you have to know what you have basically and utilize what you have, which Tibbs again doesn't do a good job of.
No, he doesn't.
There was someone.
And
was someone on our chat who put something interesting, and I don't know if Jose could find it, but it was basically he had stated Harden, Harden, or someone playing like you ever play with your uncle. It started with something like that. Have you ever played with your uncle, and your uncle allows you to get? That's basically who was this? Agent Super Argo. Yeah, that forms it up right there. You ever played basketball with an uncle or older cousin who knows they can beat you, but just toys with you until they have had enough? That was Harden against the Knicks. I couldn't say it
And
any
you
better.
damn right. I know exactly what you mean because I always tell this story. Once in a blue, one time when I was young, like 13, 14, just learning how to play ball. I started to get pretty good with my jump shot and stuff. I started feeling myself. You know how it is. And then one
Yeah.
day
You
my
had a nice
uncle,
trigger. You had a nice trigger.
I had some moments. So the one day my uncle was watching us play in the park, right? I thought
Right.
this was the funniest thing ever. I'm so embarrassed. He was walking by. Now my uncle had cowboy boots on. My uncle said, "You know what? I got next." My uncle came into the court with cowboy boots on and lit us up, bro. I was like, "Yo, get out of here, man!" This dude had cowboy boots on, and he was cash money.
More importantly, was he from Texas? Because if he wasn't, I'll be wondering why he got cowboy boots on.
No, he wasn't from Texas, but he was raised
Oh,
in Japan. So I mean, what are
and
we talking
where?
about? In
Japan?
Japan, yeah,
Oh,
yeah, yeah.
he was rocking cowboy boots.
Hey, listen, man.
What's
What can I
going
tell you,
on?
brother?
That- hey, if he
Yeah,
was from Texas, I'd be like, well, that's what they do in Texas. But
yeah, that makes sense. I know. Well, I mean, he loved Earth, Wind, and Fire. Maybe that has something to do with it. I don't know.
maybe,
Nah,
maybe, maybe back
could be,
then they
could be.
dressed all types of ways in the 80s.
Facts. So
Was
yeah,
it the
man, he
80s or
lit
the
us up.
90s?
No, this was the '90s, but he definitely lit us up like it was the
Woo!
'80s. Yeah, so it was
Yikes.
rough. So yeah, man, it's like, you got that going on. And then also they had a good contribution from Tyrese Maxey, the better quickly, I
Yeah,
like to say.
the
21
better
points and 7
quickly.
rebounds. Yo, like this is what we want quickly to be. Now, not taking anything away from quickly because quickly actually had a pretty good game this game. But
Got like 20 something,
I'm
right? 21,
yeah, he had
24.
21 points and 5 rebounds. But I like to say that we saw a good bit of what quickly can do because of Maxi. I feel like Maxi pushed them. Like they're from the same, the same
Mm-hmm,
clique and
mm-hmm.
everything. They'd be going at each other. So I felt like Maxi
Yeah,
out there pushed quickly to give his best. So it was good to
definitely.
see that. The other thing with this game is the fact that RJ didn't shoot the best. He was 9 for 22, 40% from the field, and he didn't make a three. He shot 3 attempts and he didn't hit a three. I think he was 40% from the free throw line. But what I did notice is that RJ was being, or at least trying to be, very aggressive when it
Mm-hmm.
comes to getting in the paint and facilitating. There's a video on Twitter. I was trying to get it so that I could put it up here, but I couldn't figure out a way to rip it so that I could show
To
you
pull it.
guys. Um, yeah,
Right.
but there's a video and it shows it's about maybe 6 or 7 plays of RJ just driving and getting into the lane and feeding like Mitch, feeding Fournier. A nice bounce pass to Fournier. Fournier didn't do anything with it. Mitch missed his shot.
Mm-hmm.
It was another play. He drove into the lane, kicked it out to Obi in the corner. Obi missed the three. Like so, and RJ finished with 6 assists, but he might have been able to have 9 or 10 assists the way he was trying to dish the ball. So like, this is the
Mm-hmm.
good stuff that you want to see from RJ when he was 9 for 22. His shot wasn't going the way it was in the previous game, and he was trying to do other
Right.
things on the court. Like, man, I don't know. This is it's tough. It's tough to watch.
Yeah, but that you gotta like that upside. You know what I mean? You gotta like that
No, it's
he's
really good.
being that
It's really
aggressive.
good.
You know what I mean? That's good for his future. And again, it's against a good defensive team. You know what I mean? Those are two defensive teams back to back. You got the Heat and you got the 76ers. Both top tier defenses. So to me, it's a win-win, man. He's gonna continue to gain this experience, and he's gonna be better as time goes on. He's gonna learn and learn how to adapt. He just really has to learn how to knock down those free throws. That's keeping him away from a lot of, a lot more solid of a game. You know what I mean? Because if in that 46 point game, he would have probably had 49 or 50. This game, he would have
Right.
probably got to 30. You know what I mean? Like, that's how you put it together. Michael Jordan did what he did, but when he got to the free throw line, he knocked them down. You know what I mean? So
That's a fact. That's a fact. And
same with Kobe, same with Iverson, same with all the greats. They get to the free throw, they know they're free, they're gonna knock them down.
Remember when I told you to keep track of that free throw shooting? They shot 88% in that Brooklyn Nets game. In the Miami Heat game, they shot 72%. In this Philadelphia game, the Knicks shot 62% from the free throw line. You don't win basketball games like that, man. And it's not like they didn't go to the line. Like it wasn't skewed. Like they went to the line a good amount of times. Like what was it 33?
RJ
Yeah.
and Randall
They
were poor from the free throw line.
No, 35. Sorry, 22 for 35.
Right.
And so I see that we got Johnny Davis in the chat. I wish this was the Johnny Davis that is the draft prospect, because we could really use you on the Knicks, man. Just say
that's so true.
Yeah. No, man. Salute to you. Salute to everybody in the chat once again. Salute to salute to Parrish Duggar, Johnny Davis, Jalbino 59. Quality jumpers there. I see you. B Skis in the building. JW's in the building. What's good? I think I said big task at hand earlier, but Wayne Peterson is here. 19 Con Man is in the building. Kaiser Soze is here. What's going on, brother? We mentioned Agent Super Argo. And Angel Torres is in the building. Good to see you, Angel. So
what's up, everyone?
Here's the other thing that I wanted to get into real quick, John, because what we've already talked about a little bit, but what would this show be if not having a better chance to kill Tibbs? I killed Tibbs on other shows. I might as well do it on our show, right? So another horrible thing that took place in this game too is the fact that we watched. Tibbs said that there was going to be some changes, right? And we've noticed that in the past couple of games, he's played Jericho Sims, giving him about 16, 17 minutes around there. That's good. That's good to see. For whatever reason, he still has chosen not to really play Deuce McBride. He gave Deuce 2 minutes in the Miami game. He did not play him at all in the Philadelphia game. And he said that he believes that, Kemba's on the shelf, right? He's not playing. And he believes out of everybody at the point guard position, Alec Burks gives us our best chance, right? So what does he do? Alec Burks goes out there and plays 34 minutes, gives us 6 points and 0 assists. And you have Miles McBride sitting on the bench. You won't even let this kid play 2 minutes. So I ask you, John, what the hell is going on, bro? Because I don't understand it. I don't get it.
Doesn't make any sense. And even that skewed metrics that he pulled up in order to sort of give himself or write himself a reason to be playing Burks at point doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean? Burks is at his best when he's playing the 2. And everyone can see it. So you can't tell me as a coach you don't see it. So that is sort of false in my opinion. That's just him being stubborn, him wanting not to play a young player with the rest of the team because he feels like he's maybe Quick is going to lose minutes, or maybe someone else will be losing minutes. Maybe the minutes of Fournier will get cut, and he just doesn't want to do that. Because the reality is that if there are 3 players on our team or 4 players on our team that minutes could get pulled from. That's Randall, Fournier, Burks, and IQ. Any one of those players you can shorten a bit of their minutes and give them to other players on this team. For instance, you could be giving Obi a couple of more minutes. You could be giving Cam a couple of minutes. And you could be giving Deuce upwards of 10 minutes a game. At the very least, you can give him 10. At the very least. But he chooses not to do that because he's stubborn and he wants to stick to an 8-man rotation, 9-man rotation. And it doesn't matter what he has on his bench. He just really doesn't care. He doesn't care to move the needle a little bit. It's going to take for us to be mathematically out of it in order for the front office to sort of force his hand. But again, that to me was what the play was for moving on from Kemba. And the situation with Rose right now is basically the front office playing their hand and saying, we can't allow these players to be available for you because you're not gonna play everybody else. You're gonna keep playing these guys. So That's where I see it.
Yeah, man, I agree with you on that. Salute once again, quality jumper. He said Tibbs might not even play Johnny if we had him. Basically, yeah, because
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on, bro. It's nuts. And Agent Super Argo, yeah, I no, he said you're talking about Maximilian, good videos for RJ killing it with his drives. No, I wasn't talking about Maximilian for this videos. For the video I'm speaking of, but I will check Maximilian out. I'm gonna check him out. I was actually talking about shout out to Ariel. That's A Pacheco NBA on Twitter. He's always doing breaking down analysis of players and putting these highlight videos showing them on the defensive end or scheming and stuff like that. He's really good at doing those. So shout out to A Pacheco. If you guys haven't checked his Twitter out, it's A Pacheco NBA. And so he's got that video that I'm talking about with RJ. It's 6 things that stood out from the Knicks and the Sixers, and it's RJ, and you know how he deals with the pick and roll. It was pretty insightful. So, yeah, man. So that's pretty much it for this week's games and what took place. You know, I don't think we could really get into our predictions because I think we only really predicted one game, if that. So there's probably no need to even talk about that. But I think it might be time to look at you know, what we think about, you know, as far as the games going forward. Like what are our thoughts? What you think?
Yeah, let's go for that. Let's move in that direction. I'm good with that.
Did you hear that?
Heard something.
Yeah.
I think it's time for the one and only No Way Jose to make his appearance. Oh yeah.
Raise a glass.
What's
What's
up?
up, fellas?
What's going
How y'all
on?
doing?
Chilling, Jose. What's good with
Hello.
you? How was your time off, by the way?
Yo, my time off was freaking awesome. You know,
Nice.
I just want to let the fans know that I was actually ready last week Monday to go live, you know. I had everything set up, you know, I had the links, everything set up, and then Ron said, nah, you on break. I was like, oh, right, I forgot. So thank you for that.
Hey,
That's
man,
why
listen.
that's why we rock with you, because we know you're always ready.
Facts.
Thank you.
Facts.
Thank you.
And you deserve that time, man. You deserve that time.
Thank you. Yeah, but nah, break was good, man. Just spent it in Jersey with my wife. Just chilling
Nice.
out there, you know, hanging out. You know, it's really cheap to get a hotel because it's February. Ain't nobody trying to go anywhere, so
I hear
Pretty
that.
much.
I hear
on
that.
man. I'm with you. I'm
Yeah,
with
man.
you.
At least you got away with the misses. You know what I mean? That's very important.
yeah.
Facts.
Thank you. But listen, we're back. You know, we're here to have fun. I mean, listen, I know we ain't gonna do the predictions of the last 2 weeks. I'm just saying, but you know, we can do the predictions for this week. But before we do that, can I get the chat to throw some fire emoji in the chat? Come on, man. We're gonna show y'all
Yeah,
some
let's do
love
that.
tonight.
Let's do that.
Oh man,
Let's
a little
go. We gonna-
fire.
Come on, throw some emoji fires in the chat and you guys get some screen time. Let's go. Show us some love.
That's what I'm talking about. Gotta hit it with the old school.
You know it. There you go.
I guess the chat don't want to show us any love tonight, huh?
Oh no, it's a little delay. It's coming. Look at the fire. Oh,
There you go.
my
There
Oh,
you go.
my bad.
careful.
You're right.
Don't-
I forgot I
Don't
put a
get
delay on
burned,
this. My
Jose.
bad.
Don't get
Yeah.
burned, B.
Don't get burned.
Look at Will Salkin in the building. I see you, King Ribby. Ashley Ink's in the building now. Let's go. Be civilized. What's happening, brother? Hey.
Let's go.
About to
This
hit
is
him
for
with
you
that
guys
Jersey
right now.
funk.
This is for everyone in the chat right now, showing us some love.
Light it up. If I had a lighter right now.
You know, Jersey Shore with it.
Listen. In all seriousness, salute to the chat, because 2 weeks ago when we did our last show, I put a challenge out there and I said, listen, if we can get to 700 subscribers by the end of February, which if you guys don't know, today's the last day of February, I would join my brothers on stage, right? You would get to see my face cam and all that stuff. And you know, and it's been 2 weeks, and guess what? We didn't get to 700, but hold up. Hold up. Here's some good news, y'all.
Damn.
2 weeks ago, we were at 550 subscribers. As of today, as of right now, give me 1 second to refresh my page on YouTube real quick. We are at 624 subscribers. And that's with us taking a 1 week break from the camera.
Let's go.
I think Jose, what's up, man? I think this is a good look, man.
Come on. You know what I'm saying? Come on, brother.
Listen. Can I be real right now? Can I talk?
Talk your stuff, baby. Talk your stuff.
Alright, check it. So 2 weeks ago, after we finished our show and we did the challenge, you know, I went to my wife and I told her, hey, the show was awesome. It was a great time. And I told her how I challenged the fans to get us to 700 subscribers and I would be on camera with my brothers. And she looked at me and said, who's asking for you? Yeah, that's what happened. So listen, to everyone watching this
Gotta
right
love
now,
the ladies.
and to everyone who's watching us live and all those who are watching after we go live, first of all, show some love in the chat. You know, don't forget to subscribe. As Ron say, tell a friend to tell a friend to tell another friend. But listen, if you want to help me out so I can rub it in my wife's face, get us to 700 subscribers by tonight. But listen, I get it. Ron, John, look, we made progress. We took a whole week off. I'm talking about we took a whole week off and we got over 70 something subscriber. So if we get to 650, I will be joining my brothers next week Monday live.
All right, that's better.
All right.
That's a good number.
Hey, that's
I mean,
better than
it's
nothing.
all right.
That's better than nothing.
It's a concession. It's cool. It's a concession.
So we just need 26 more subscribers, y'all. 26 more
So
subscribers.
talk about. Let's get those 26.
But if you guys really want to help me rub in my wife's face, you know, she's going to watch this later tonight or maybe tomorrow. Get us to 700. Let her know.
Word. Everyone's
As I
looking for
always
Jose.
Listen, I mean, look, if you got a babysitter, if you got a gardener, someone who helps shovel your snow, just tell them, listen, you may not like basketball, but these guys are great. Go check out Still Knicks fans. Subscribe. Hit that button.
And as a matter of fact, you know what we should do for next week as well? We should bring back the risers and folders. What you think about that? Add a little bit more spunk to this again. You know what I mean?
Because
Wouldn't everyone be a faller?
Oh,
everybody's
of
falling,
course
B.
there is. Nah, man, there's always going to be someone who's showing a little bit of something through a week.
All right, we could do that because there's
You know
a
what I mean?
diamond in the rough, and RJ's been balling. You know,
RJ's been
stuff
that.
That does happen.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So, you know, we'll see. We'll see as time goes on. We only got a handful of games left. You know what I mean? There's somewhat about 20, 21 games left. I'm sure we will see a couple of diamonds in the rough.
Yeah.
Let's bring it back, man.
Let's do that. Let's do that. All right, I'm with it. All right, Rises and Fallers coming back next week, folks. I like it. Whoa. Sounds dangerous.
Mm.
Okay,
What you got
gentlemen.
going on there? Mm.
Hello.
We hear you.
Hello.
It's that time.
Okay.
As want to add a
little bit more bass to my voice. I don't have that much bass. Anyways.
Oh yeah. I like it. I like it.
Gentlemen,
I thought it was somebody else. I didn't know.
You thought it was somebody else? Yeah.
Yeah.
I wish it was somebody else, you know. But listen, we got 3 games coming up this week. And yes, to everyone watching us live or after, there is a game happening next week, Monday, but that game is starting at 10 o'clock at night or 10:30 at night. You know, I'm pretty young, but that's past my bedtime.
Hey.
Mine too.
So we're going to predict that game next week, Monday. But we do have 3 games coming up this week. And typically I will reveal the games, but we're going to do a little bit different. So check this out. The first game coming up is the Knicks versus the 76ers.
All right.
So I did the poll on YouTube. Shout out to the fans. And 83% of them said that the Knicks will win. 76 said that the
you mean 16%?
16. Yes. Sorry, I said the 76 first. 16% said that the 76ers will win.
Optimistic. We got some optimistic fans, man.
They are. But listen, right after the 76ers, we got another late game. You know, obviously it's early for the West Coast. It's late for us in the East Coast. We have the Knicks versus the Suns. 25% saying that the Knicks will win, and the rest saying that the Suns will win.
Hey,
I mean, they are the best team in basketball
in the West, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
And
even without Chris Paul, right? Who's out right now?
Facts. Yep.
Last but not least, the last game of this week is the Knicks versus the Clippers, with 69% with the Knicks and 30% with the Clippers.
All right.
Okay. All right. So optimism still here.
You gotta love this Knick community, man. They believe. I like it. I like it.
And nothing wrong with that.
I need these people to go to bat for me. Yeah, man. I need these people when I'm doing anything. Yo, be in my corner.
Hey, actually, they are. You seen our subscription lately? They definitely have.
You are in my corner, yo. Appreciate y'all, man. Thank y'all.
That's a fact.
Listen, it's been 2 weeks. You know, I had a vacation, so I don't know whoever wants to go first. Go first.
Balls in your court, Ron.
Whatever. All right, so I'll go first. Loss, win.
Ooh.
Done.
Okay. Loss, and a dub. Okay.
Well, here's the thing.
John?
Here's the thing. You know, at the end of this season, I guess we're supposed to tally all of the wins, right, that we've gotten over the weeks, you know, of doing this thing. And so I can't keep going into it with my heart. So I got to start, you know, being more effective in my choosing. So, of course, I am going to go with 2 losses and a win.
Okay. So, you know, it's either going to be a tie or both of you guys are horrible at this.
Definitely.
Listen, because both of you predicted the same thing, I'm just going to say this is a confirmation. It's locked in. I'm not even going to throw the symbol. So,
That's
chat,
right.
look at these gentlemen's prediction. Let me know what you think. Actually, better yet, tell us what your prediction is, and we're going to throw it up in the chat right now. We're going to throw it up on the screen right now and see what we got. You guys ready to see what the fans are saying?
I see you, be civilized. I see you.
Ooh. Ain't nothing wrong with that. I got 3 L's, guys. Jose. You ain't wrong about that one.
I just feel like, you know, there's only so much losing this team can do, man. Gerald D's like 3 L. Ooh, it's rough right now.
Hey, Gerald D said there was an L as soon as we had Tibbs on this team. So
she did. That's not a lie. She called it a long time ago.
Let
me tell you,
from the very beginning.
I'll tell you one thing. The Knicks are 1-10 in their last 10 games. I'm sorry, 1-9 in their last 10 games, and they are 3-15 in their last 18. Oof.
Yeah.
Rough.
This has to be a win somewhere. But
we do.
We got to be due at least one.
The L's have spoken.
I don't see it coming with the 76ers or the Suns, to be honest.
No. I in the past, I would have thought that we would have, in a back-to-back against the 76ers, we would have had a chance to win. But now that they got Harden,
right. Now Ashley Inc. won. LLL.
So,
Man.
Shout out to Big Task for pointing out my mistake. It's not the Kings versus the Clippers, it's the Knicks versus the Clippers. But, another thing that I'm trying to figure out.
Yeah. We're working through it. Thank you, brother.
How come we had out of the two games, they voted for the Knicks to win, and one of the games, I think the one against the Suns, they said the Suns will win. But I'm seeing a whole bunch of L's right now. So what happened to the faithful fans that were here earlier?
Those faithful fans, they tuned out. They're like, no, I'm done with this game. I thought I seen them wins come against the 76ers, not against the Suns, though.
Hey, man, listen. I think at this point, the fans are just like, they want to be optimistic, but they also want to be realist, and they don't know. They don't know what to expect from this Tom Thibodeau team anymore.
Yeah,
I can't blame them.
There's one thing we do know: we're gonna play inconsistently. That's what we do know.
That is a fact. Just mark that down, because I don't know what they're doing right now. Shout out to Jay Boogie. Jay Boogie in the building. What's going on, Jay Boogie?
Yes, sir.
I don't know if you guys got a chance.
Loving that new video.
All right, Jose.
I'm gonna miss y'all. Take care. Salute to the fans out there. Listen, we just got 2 more subscribers during this entire conversation just now. So let's keep raising up those numbers right now.
650. Get Jose on the screen. Let's
and
go.
700 so I can rub in my wife's face. Just throwing it out there.
Yeah,
there you go.
That'll be something.
All right, later, gentlemen.
All right, brother. You know what I mean? Yeah, man. Shout out to Jay Boogie once again in the chat. Appreciate you, Jay Boogie. Always showing love, man. If y'all guys haven't checked out Jay Boogie's new video, he did a tribute to our man Obi, coming off of that slam dunk contest win. It's definitely a dope joint. Salute to Jay Boogie for putting that together and representing for the Knicks and showing Obi some love. Obi's had a rough season with the way Tom Thibodeau's kind of had him in and out the doghouse and not playing the minutes. All he can do is go out there and win that dunk competition. He's like, this is my thing. I gotta get it, and he did it. So
yeah,
I give him credit for that.
He got his win. It wasn't as expected. You know what I mean? Like I think there's a little bit of that, that dunk contest that sort of didn't really give me that excitement, especially when, because the dunks that they're trying are extremely hard. You know what I mean? And they aren't knocking them down their first try. And that's the tough part, man. When you lose the crowd, you lose the energy, you lose the announcers. It's a tough one, man, because when you win a game, when you win a slam dunk contest, you want to make those dunks, clear and concise. You want to make them clean, and then that way everybody can, sort of look at the highlights and and you know what I mean. And we didn't really get that, from the jump. Everybody that was a part of the slam dunk contest sort of, they pulled the energy away from the arena. It was quick, fast too.
Right.
That's why they have to do something a little bit more exciting next year. You know what I mean? I think. I know I've said it on our channel, but I want to give props to where it really came from, because I believe I heard it from Paul Pierce. I think he was one of the originators of that idea. So I want to give props where props are due, where he talked about bringing in, slam dunk, contestants that actually do slam dunking for their business or for entertainment purposes, and have them go up against high flyers in the NBA. And maybe you match a couple of them up together. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You take 2 high jumpers and you let them work together on dunks, and then you take 2 NBA players, give them a week to work on dunks together. You know what I mean? Or something like that. I just don't know how they will be able to do it. But I think at some point we have to bring it back to sort of the essence where you bring a lot more excitement. You aren't missing your first dunks. And a lot of these guys, they're starting out with really difficult dunks to begin with instead of getting a dunk that you know you can complete. You know what I mean?
Right.
So you take away, I think someone said it on I think it was maybe Smith who said it. He said you can't rely on someone else to throw you a good pass. So take that out of the equation. You know what I mean? Especially for your first dunk. And I think he's absolutely right. I think he's absolutely right.
Honestly, you know what? I mean, this is crazy and far-fetched, and he would have no chance of winning. But the way Obi is, like, if I was Obi, I just have a lot of pride in myself and my game. And I'm not saying he doesn't. I'm just saying, like, after everything he's gone through and the way he's looked out there on the court in reference to certain things, I would be like, my mission would be in this offseason to get to the point where next year, when the three-point competition comes around, I'm at the point where I'm in the three-point competition. Like, that's what I would be focused on, man. Like, I'm going to show and prove, baby.
Yeah.
But,
you got to hit those threes in the regular season in order to, because you have to be in the percentage, right, in order to put your
name. You got to be in the right type of percentage to be able to even be included. And that's what I would be focused on if I'm him. Not just the 3-point shot, but a nice mid-range jumper. Just like RJ needs to work on them free throws and some of those turnovers. That's I think his game is getting a lot better and it's going to be smoother. Another year or two, like I said, by the time he's 23, he should have it figured out. And the rest of these Knicks need to figure out their free throw shooting because not just RJ. Other guys got issues too. If you're going to be on this team, you better start learning how to shoot some damn free throws because we can't win games like this down the stretch. We don't got a closer, and then you want to miss free throws? That's ridiculous. So, yeah, man.
It's out of control.
I hope we're able to get everything together and be able to, go into the offseason, make some changes to this team, maybe go into the draft, pick up a player or two that might help us, but a good draft pick, not one of those marginal people. I feel like if we don't, I don't know how you feel, John, but I'm like, if we don't have a top 7 pick or so.
We need a top 5.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. We got it. If we get like a top 7, we have to try to figure out how to move into that top 5.
Oh,
I don't know how top 3, do it, but we got to figure it out. Yeah, well,
if we get a top 7, we should be moving to top 3. You know what I mean? To be honest, we want to be able to get the top pick of this year's draft if we're in the running. You know what I mean? Whether that means you have to get rid of some of those, draft pick assets, then do so. A couple of players, then do so. There's not enough to be said about having, a top prospect come into your organization, especially if they play the guard position, you know what I mean? And they have the ball in their hands because you need that's floor general. And we could find a floor general in this year's draft that's going to be top 3. We should be chasing that individual. But again, I haven't looked at the college, any college games this season. So don't even come to me and ask me who I think is going to, I don't watch college basketball until the Sweet 16 hits, and then I start, focusing on my energy and paying attention to players. So I look to other people to give me information on college players coming in to the league.
Yeah, I'm with you, and we will probably cover it on the weekly recap a little bit at some point. But next week's Know the Ledge show will be a way too early draft class show. So I'm going to definitely be doing a lot of research this week. Stay tuned to that, guys, because, hopefully I'll be able to compile some video and stuff, and we'll be able to look at, maybe I don't want to go too crazy. Maybe at least like the top 10 players in the draft and look at them. Even if the Knicks don't have a shot at getting them, you never know. There's always a chance. And so we can kind of take a look at them and kind of dissect them and see. And then we'll also maybe look at where at this point the Knicks are projected if the season would end now, and who they would have to, who would be a target person for them. And if that person could help the Knicks, because we need all the help we can get, man.
Hey, man, I'm really interested to know what the chat has to say about, throw your top 3 players in the chat that if you watch college basketball and if you have an eye on someone, throw that in the chat so Ron could utilize his time and research that player. You know what I mean? Give us a little help there. To be honest, I would love to see, a dynamic guard who can score easily, can break down the defense easily, you know what I mean, and someone who could distribute the ball. I want to see someone who could finish at a high, rate, and who's explosive. But again, every draft class is different. You're not going to get the same in every draft class. So if this draft class is not so strong, then give me the gem. Show me the gem. And I'd rather put my odds on the gem and let him develop with us. Because if there's a kid with some talent in a key area, like if he's a good penetrator and has good core vision, I'll take that. You know what I mean? If there's a kid who can score at will, you know what I mean, and jumps out the gym, I'll take that, and we can work on the rest.
Right. I'm with you on that. Salute to Alton Lee, Margaret Edwards in the building, Alfred Owens Jr., Julian Blum is in the building, my man. Thank you guys for tuning in. I think Agent Super Argo said point guard. Knicks are looking to draft a point guard, but won't even give McBride a shot. That's pathetic. All right, man.
I don't even know what the Knicks are looking to draft, to be honest. That was just me saying it. And I'm willing to give McBride a shot, to be honest. But Tibbs hasn't given him a shot this entire year. I don't expect to see him this year. We expect him to see Summer League next year, if there is one. And hopefully after this season, he'll get a shot. If he gets a shot this season, it is going to be because we're mathematically out of it. And Tibbs is forced to play McBride. And at that point, does it really count? Does it really, really count? I don't know if it does.
I mean, listen, at least for that young kid, he gets some confidence
for him,
knowing he's out there. Yeah. But, that's pretty much it. But I'll take that because you know what? He deserves to get his feet wet and learn. He's not ready to take control of anything or be in a role like that yet. But at least let this kid be out there playing, man. It's a slap in the face to have this guy go out there and not even, put him in the game. And then in a game where you don't have a competent point guard, at least in that position, you play him 2 minutes. Like it's bad, man. Tibbs got to get it together, bro.
More of what I was saying about does it really matter? I meant does it really matter to the front office and Tibbs because
oh right, no, yeah, I hear you.
They haven't proven a need. They haven't proven that they would utilize someone that we have who was fully capable as a college player. You know what I mean? And show at least in one game this season when given the starting role that he could provide, some different energy. You know what I mean? And was efficient. And then he had one, that wasn't so efficient. I wouldn't say efficient, but wasn't so good as far as scoring efforts. But I don't know, man. I just know we're gonna need a stud. You know what I mean? And if McBride came out at 20, he was a second round pick, right? McBride. I don't recall what pick he was. Was it 26, 24, something like that?
No. Second round
was
is
later.
It's in the 30s. So yeah, he was like 36 or something like that. I don't remember exactly.
36. You will look at a draft pick like that, and I think a lot of the folks that are actually putting together the draft class, they have a good indication of what these players do and what they're good at and what they lack. And I would say that they know more about his weaknesses than we actually can see. So for me, I'm looking for a stud, especially if we have an opportunity to get a top 3 pick. You know what I mean? Let's look for a stud. And if that stud is a point guard or a guard, I'm willing to go after that because you can't cheat those skills. Sometimes they're God-given.
I agree with you, bro. The Knicks need to get the best player available, but don't just take – I'm all about – listen –
take a need though. Don't get another power forward.
But if it's a stud, then you get them, and then you got to move some people, but you got to make the moves.
You got to move them.
Yeah, you got to move them.
Got to move them.
Right.
You can't just stack and then stack for what? You know what I mean? For
Right.
these kids to lose confidence. That's what's happening. You stacking these players, not letting them play because they're behind, you know, 2 other players. Their confidence is not going to go any better. It's not going to get any better that way.
That's a fact. Salute to Knicks Nation 112 in the building, where the players dwell. I see you. Thank you guys for tuning in. I know some of you are coming in late. We're about to wrap up the show, but you know, please, after the show's over, feel free to click that refresh button and watch it from the beginning, and take a look at the show. We appreciate you guys always showing support. And let me see, to John's point, what he said as far as the chat. I see people put in Adrian Griffin. I see Ty. I guess that's Ty Washington, right? I think I see Jaden Ivey. I see Jabari Smith, which I'd be happy with Jabari Smith or Jaden Ivey. That would definitely be a good look. As I mentioned earlier, Johnny Davis would be a nice look as well. You know, so definitely, yeah, I think probably going to talk about a lot of those guys next week.
Nice.
And, you know, I think Infamous New King said Rokas Jokovitis, the point guard we drafted number 32, could be a role player or asset in a package. Yeah, it's true.
Absolutely.
You know, we got to see what we can get from him. I'm not sure even, you know, the way this team is in dysfunction, unless they do something in the offseason to get us in the right direction. I mean, Rokas may stay there another year because he's still young, still learning. We'll see. And I see Keegan Murray is another person, which I honestly don't know too much about Keegan Murray, so I'm going to do some research on him. I do like Shaden Sharp, Kaiser Soze, so that is a good look. The only problem with Shaden Sharp is he plays for Kentucky, John. However, he's coming out of high school, and for whatever reason, Calipari decided that he's a little raw, so he's not playing him this year.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. But he's talented. He's definitely talented. I saw some highlight video being broke down by somebody on YouTube who does really good analysis, and the kid can play. We just got to see what he can do on the next level. So
he's probably trying to stash him for one more year. He needs somebody. You got to keep a player.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like, if we can't move up and get one of them stud guys, I mean, somebody like a Shade, depending on where we draft, he might be the guy. So we got to definitely look at that.
Cool.
Yeah, but hey, man, thank you guys for tuning in once again. Appreciate you. Look at Naruto Goku in the building. Look at you. GXW Classic is in the building. I see you guys. Thank you for tuning in, man. Appreciate you. Wait, hold on one second before we go. I don't want to dismiss you. Naruto said, is Brunson better than all those rookies? Just got here. I don't know if you guys talked about that. No, we actually didn't talk about Brunson. I will tell you that Brunson is funky because I like him, but I also know that he's playing with Dallas and he has the benefit of a star player over there in Luka Doncic. I don't know how it's going to translate if he came to the Knicks. I don't know. We'll see. I know, he's undersized, but I think he's got really good touch. I think he knows how to drop the ball to people and get them in the right spots, but he is undersized and he wants around 20 million. So he may be if he decides to take 15 million or something like that and give the Knicks a sweetheart deal because of his connection with his father and everything, the Knicks might have to do it. I don't know. How you feel about Jalen Brunson, John?
I like Jalen Brunson. For me, I'm looking for a talent. I want something to pop out at you right now. If we don't get a stud point guard, you know what I mean, and there isn't one available to us, then at that point you make the move for Jalen Brunson for next year to start the season off as a starting point guard for the Knicks. Because we don't know what we're going to get from Rose again, and we definitely know that Quickly isn't a player that's going to turn into a point guard, at least an efficient point guard at this moment in time. You don't see it, so I think he is who he is. He's a shooter, and we got to utilize him as he is or ship him out and get something for him. Package him out, because you got to make room. You got to make room for new growth. So that's my thing, is you got to develop this team next year to be a lot more talented. We got to play at a faster pace. So we want to get younger, and we want to get more efficient. So bring some length over, some guys who can play defense. We got Cam, make some room to Cam to grow. Let RJ hold the keys to our future, and then roll with that. And if we could keep Mitch, keep Mitch. If not, roll him out and get some for him. You know what I mean? You can't let these guys go out for nothing. You know what I mean? Like, you can't let them get into free agency and use the market against us. We've done that already. That's how we fail.
Yeah, and then really quickly, Jeremy Nussbaum salutes you. Thank you for joining in. He said Malcolm Brogdon got $66 million for 3 years through 2025. Kaiser Soze said Fred VanVleet got $85 million for 4 years, and he said, is Brunson as good as Fred VanVleet? And the answer is no. I agree with that. So yeah. If he's asking for a number that doesn't fit his value, we definitely either have to try to get him down if we're desperate, and we like, you start off with who you can get, like who can you acquire by trade that's better than Brunson, and also what you get out of the draft. And then if that don't work out, if Brunson's still available, then you take a shot at it. But if his number's too high, you got to see if you can bring him down. If not, you walk away. Simple as that.
The problem is the only person they were able to get down this season from a larger amount was Randall, and everybody else they gave a bonus to. They gave a bonus to Taj. They gave a bonus to Noel. You know what I mean? So like, if you're gonna do that I just don't see it. I just don't see where the bargaining happens. You know what I mean? Because you can't. I would believe that you could have gotten Taj for the veteran minimum this year. You know what I mean? Yeah. Noel, you could have gotten him for exactly what you paid him the year before. So you know what I mean? There was no difference. But doing folks a favor, looking out. That's what you get you. So
this
I think
is how it bites you later sometimes.
Yeah, front office better be smarter with our money. That's what I'm saying.
And if the Knicks do something where they do spend some money, because they don't have a lot of money to spend anyway. If they do go out there and buck up and give the money to Brunson, then expect that they're probably gonna move Randall in some sort, because they're gonna have to free up some money to be able to have some flexibility later, because they'll be handicapped. Yeah, man. But anyway. Thank you guys for tuning in. John, you got any final words, brother?
Man, as always, man, stay blessed. And I'll catch you guys on the next one.
Yep, definitely. Guys, if you're just tuning in late, definitely refresh and watch the replay, so you know what we talked about and covered for this week. Thank you for tuning in and supporting us as always. We appreciate you guys. Thank you to my man Jose on the ones and twos, holding us down as always.
Always.
You know what I mean? And definitely, like Jose was putting in the chat, man, if you want to see more still Knicks fans, check us out this Thursday on the Nothing But Knicks network. You're going to have the NBA report where we cover other teams in the NBA, especially in the Eastern Conference, that, it's good to look at those teams, especially when they affect the Knicks, even though I know the Knicks are kind of on their way out of it. But still, we're going to continue to do what we do and cover these teams on the NBA report, as well as we'll talk a little bit about the Knicks. And definitely check us out this Saturday on the Know the Ledge series. As I already said, it's going to be a way too early draft series. But you know what? What else is there to talk about? We might as well start looking into these draft picks, because that's where we're headed. So definitely check that out. Thank you. Like, comment, subscribe. Tell a friend who tells a friend who tells another friend, and hit that notification bell. But make sure you hit the one at the top that allows you to be notified whenever we drop any new content. And do the same when you check us out on Nothing But Knicks. Click their subscribe button, hit their notification bell so you find out about their content, their shows, the Queen's Court, the controversy with Josh, a.k.a. Uncle Fulio, Knicks and Bruises, and Simeon Russell with his pregame, postgames, and the shoot-arounds. So once again, thank you guys. And you know what? I don't know if Jay Boogie is still here, but he was in the building before, and I played his video this Saturday, and I figured, you know what, it might be nice to have him on the way out, because he is known as the closer. So why don't we let Jay Boogie close the show with his video real quick? You know what I mean? So on the way out, we're gonna play Jay Boogie's Obi so we get up out of here in the right way. You know, salute to J Boogie for putting it down. Really nice visuals. The camera was shot great. You know, we got to get our camera work up there. We're going to have to get a Cash App going, you know, and Patreon, because we need some more bucks to change our cameras. You know what I mean?
Word.
Yeah, man. Thank you guys. As always, we'll see you on the next one. Take care of yourselves. Stay safe. And, you know, let's go Knicks. We out of here.
We out of here. Peace.
The winner of the 2022 AT&T Slam Dunk Contest from the New York Knicks. Let's hear it for Obi Toppin.
I figure I spread some love and some joy amongst us, you know what I'm saying? Represent for my young fella. I'm Obi. When I put this on your head, I'm Obi. When I smash this on your head, I'm Obi. When I bang this on your head, I'm Obi. You know my name when I'm topping on your head. Last year they jerked us from the dunk test. This year I'm back, you know I'm Movex. I hold it down my own, represent the city. All my Mars underground chat stay gritty. 5 times we winners on the showcase. Never mind the Reggies, let them all hate. From New York to Cleveland, All-Star Weekend. If I don't win that trophy, I ain't leaving. I'm 6'9", incredible with the vertical. Medical prints on the rim means I'm surgical. Posterize you with a flick cause you playing gutter. Same house like my dad when he played at the Rucker. How you wanted the alley-oop from out the roof. If I was Blake, I would've jumped over a new coupe. My shoe game by the greatest, so I stay sporting. Some OB hot toppings, so I went Jordan. That windmill from the wing, it'll make the garden buzz. They take off with one bounce where Fat Joe was. The next morning, everybody saying it's my night. The great Warner Wolf be talking on my highlights. That one jersey be swerving through the back cuts. And I ain't drunk when I tell Quick to throw it up. Get out my way, you ain't seen that no look pass. The next dunk, Mike Darryl talk and break the glass. When I put this on your head, I'm Obi. When I smash this on your head, I'm Obi. When I bang this on your head, I'm Obi. You know my name when I'm topping on your head, I'm Obi. When I put this on your head, I'm Obi. When I smash this on your head, I'm Obi. When I bang this on your head, I'm Obi. You know my name when I'm topping on your head. Last year they jerked us from the dunk test. This year I'm back, you know I'm Movex. I hold it down my own, represent the city. All my Mars underground chat stay gritty. 5 times we winners on the showcase. Never mind the Reggies, let them all hate. From New York to Cleveland, All-Star Weekend. If I don't win that trophy, I ain't leaving. Y'all know what time it is, it's your boy J Boogie. I don't play no games with this, I support our team to the fullest, you know what I'm saying? But I only got one thing to say, play the young kids, that's it. Y'all know where our future is at, the future is with them. Not in the past, not in the present, the future, let's go. When I bang this on your head, I'm Obi. You know my name when I'm topping on your head, I'm Obi.